safely on shore, we found out that the island was called Malta. The islanders showed us unusual kindness. They built a fire and welcomed us all because it was raining and cold. Paul gathered a pile of brushwood, and as he put it on the fire, a viper, driven out by the heat, fastened itself to his hand. When the islanders saw the snake hanging from his hand, they said to each other, "This man must be a murderer, for though he escaped from the sea, justice has not allowed him to live. He's going to drop dead." But Paul shook the snake off into the fire and suffered no evil effects. The people, expecting him to swell up or suddenly fall dead, but after waiting a long time, they're watching, they're looking. He's going to drop dead any second. They waited a long time, and seeing nothing unusual happen to him, they changed their minds and said, "He is a god." A minute ago, he was a murderer. Now he's a god. Circumstances. That's what they proved. There was an estate nearby that belonged to Publius, the chief official of the island. He welcomed us to his home and for 3 days entertained us hospitably. His father was sick in bed, suffering from fever and dysentery. Paul went in to see him and after prayer placed his hands on him and healed him. When this had happened, the rest of the sick on the island came and were cured. They honored us in many ways, and when we were ready to sail, they furnished us with the supplies we needed. So Paul ministered to the physical needs of the people of the island of Malta, healing them, multiples. I mean, it doesn't tell us the number. Could have been hundreds, could have been thousands. We don't know. Could have been 20 or 30. We don't know. But he healed them. What was the end result of that? What was the end result? It's in the text. Verse 10. They honored them and furnished us with supplies. Did any of them get saved? Did anybody preach the gospel while they were there? Which to me is shocking that Paul didn't preach the gospel. And what that shows us, and I'm kind of glad that it's in there. Because what that shows us is that the social gospel, which you will hear about, the social gospel, which means, we've got to go in there, we've got to set up feeding programs and clothing programs and AIDS awareness programs, and we've got to do all of this kind of stuff. And all of those people will think we're so wonderful that they will ask us to share the gospel with them, maybe. What Paul showed us there, either intentionally or unintentionally, is that social gospel is no gospel at all. The social gospel is not the actual gospel. Caring for the physical needs of someone without preaching the gospel to them results in 0 converts. 0. No converts. Now, final thought. We as a nation and as a world and as a church, not just this church, but the church throughout the world, have spent trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars on the war on poverty. Why haven't we seen basically any results? Or very little results? Why haven't we seen results? What? We are not doing it God's way. Even though we may embrace the divine mission of caring for the poor, we have chosen not to embrace the divine methodology. If we want to get things done according to this, if we want to get things done eternally, we have to do God's things in God's ways. Again, the Restoration Movement, Bible things in Bible ways. And that is my passion to get not just this church, but however the Lord can use me to get the church, not just in doctrine, but in method, to do Bible things in Bible ways. And again, this is not one of those, if you're not a Christian, salvation type messages, but if you're not, and the Holy Spirit worked in some way on your heart that you would like to become a Christian this morning, we can take care of that as we sing our hymn of invitation. If you need prayer for any